How's everybody doing today? Happy Friday. We got a few people still loading in. I'm sorry I was a second late getting on. I couldn't find my link. First world problems, I get it.
Good morning. This is Janie Davis at Human Affairs. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Nice to have you with us this morning.
Yes, I tuned in last week when you had the members from the General Assembly on. And so when I got the invitation to join today, I thought I would.
Well, hey, you're going to be disappointed. I'm sorry.
That was rather entertaining.
Now you're just stuck with me. So,
well, that's quite all right. It'll be good to get the update on the business affairs of the state.
well, let's get right to it. It's Friday the 14th. January is again proving to be a slow month, but it was a busy week. I'm sure many of y'all were as well. Good to have some new faces in here. I saw Brian Taylor's shiny head a little earlier, so thanks, BT. Let's talk big stuff, and then we'll get down to local. There's tons of stuff to talk about on the local stuff, but pretty crazy day yesterday with the Supreme Court. For those that are not the news business, or it was announced yesterday they may come out with a ruling on the vaccinations. They may not, a little later. Then they came back and said, well, we're definitely not going to do it. And then lo and behold, it came out. So, and they also ruled two different ways. It was kind of interesting. I don't know if there's any lawyers on here or not, but I was fascinated with the split decision yesterday, banning vaccinations for the private sector, the over 100 employees, but then keeping the one that CMS put in place for hospitals. So if you work for a healthcare facility that takes Medicare, you got to get vaccinated. If you don't, there's no other mandate. So pretty interesting split there. I was doing some reading this morning. They all said the same thing, which means nobody's gone through and read everything in that filing. So, but split decision on the justices on both of them, quite frankly. So anybody read that? Okay, good. I wasn't the only one. But I did read 4 or 5 different news articles, but I never got into the nitty gritty of why. I understand why they did it on the OSHA. They said it was an overreach and Congress didn't act on it. And so that if Congress had acted on it then and given OSHA the authority to do that, that would have been a different opinion. But anyway, all right, so vaccinations. But the good news is we're 1 week closer to maybe the end of Omicron peak. The numbers were phenomenally high this week. 15, 16,000 cases a day. I dare say anybody on this call that you all know at least a handful of people that got it. And scary thing is, well, it's good news and bad news, right? Everybody's getting it, but the good news is the symptoms are a bad cold, and especially if you've been vaccinated and boosted, odds are that if you get it, you're not in the hospital. So that is good. So anyway, there are a number of testing facilities moving around. I know DOT and DHEC and decided to move the testing facility downtown Columbia out to the old mall at 2 Notch to get people. There was backed up on Bull Street. It was pretty wild to see 60 cars on Bull Street and another couple hundred in the parking lot all the time. So, but there are a number of facilities open up. They're not rapid tests, by the way. I think DHEC's gotten under some scrutiny this week because it's taking 4 or 5 days to get test results back, which may be too pointless at that point. But the point is, it is taking a while because so many people are getting tested. So be smart, wear your masks, use sanitizer. All right. Public service announcement over with. All right, let's get closer to home. USC. I don't, you know, I hear good things about the preferred candidate, Dr. Amaritas. Anybody? Okay, you know who I'm talking about, though. He's former provost, left in 2014, went up to University of Illinois, Chicago, was the president there, and now is coming back. They've got meetings lined up this morning with faculty and students, board meeting at 2, and a reception for him starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So no secrets there, right? Horrible disguised secret if that's the case. But anyway, fully expect him to get voted on as the next president of USC, which is a good thing for the university to get some stability, and good for all of us, because the importance of USC, as we've talked to here, it's a huge engine for us, and one that's got to help drive the economy. So excited to have a new president there. State House news. No surprise. I think we talked about this past. John Warren's not running for governor. That he had an announcement this week, but he's taken issue with a couple of things. Also, Kathy Manis is the front page paper today. Kathy's an old friend from Lancaster. She grew up in Lancaster, but she has been on Lexington City Council, Town Council for a number of years, and has had some national experience on city government, municipal government committees and national level. She runs the Palmetto Teachers Association, is going to be running for Molly Spearman's seat. You also have Ellen Weaver, who former chief of staff for Jim DeMint, who runs Palmetto Promise. She's going to be running. So that's the one seat that's getting some notoriety at the State House, or at least on a statewide level right now. The state still, interestingly enough, working out congressional maps. I know I've seen 2 or 3 this week. The House adopted one that's very, very similar to what they passed before, but they caught some flack for it, so they went back and doubled down. I don't think they made many changes, but it looks like they're going to pass that out early next week. And the Senate came out with a proposal this week on their congressional map that it looks totally different. It tried not to split counties, and so Richland would all go to Congressman Clyburn, and it would go down to Colleton County. All of Charleston would stay with one. It was an interesting exercise. I don't know if that'll pass. It's got to go through. Yeah, I don't think it's passing, but it was an interesting exercise to see what it could look like. I know that's inside baseball to you guys, so I apologize, but it is fascinating that they spend so much time talking about something that it does matter, but it is inside baseball. All right, what else? The state chamber had its business speaks this week. It was kind of interesting. The governor was there and lieutenant governor, and they had a bunch of the leadership there. The one theme that came through all the speakers was a conversation on tax reform, or at least some type of tax reduction or the governor came out with a plan to lower the tax brackets. So the top bracket is a 7% bracket, and that would drop to a 6%, and the 6 would drop to 5, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a big push for the Republicans in the House of Representatives to pass some type of tax cut because they have so much money. Interestingly enough, the Senate's the one that threw a little cold water on it. Not that they were opposed to a tax discussion, but it was like, hey, we're wasting an opportunity if we don't see broad tax reform, not just taking one slice at lowering the income tax, but let's look at everything. And that's always the kiss of death, quite frankly, because then you're talking about exemptions and everything else, which actually should, we actually exempt more taxes than we collect in South Carolina, which is unbelievable. But we exempt so much in the manufacturing process, so much in the print press, whether it's tax exemptions, homestead exemptions for folks 65 and older. We give tons of tax exemptions, And but if the Senate is Senator Massey, who is the pro tem, has said, look, I would prefer that we do a comprehensive tax reform versus just take bits and pieces, which has been done for years and years and years, which is why we're in a bad tax spot anyway. So kudos to Senator Massey. But looks like some of the big picture items that the state chamber is going to push this year. Improving the legal climate, dealing with tort reform. I think that's DOA. Invest in infrastructure, which I think they're going to get their opportunity with the governor's budget, adding $400 million to the budget, as well as an additional $200 million just to be able to bring down the $4 billion in the U.S. infrastructure bill that was passed a month or so ago. So anyway, no big surprises from the state chamber. Good stuff. But this is, like I told y'all the last couple of weeks, this is kind of a unique session this year, this session. One, we have so much money to spend. Two, we've got the House is up for a re-election, and then all the constitutional officers are up for re-election as well. I mentioned the State Department of Ed, but I also failed to mention that Hugh Weathers announced yesterday he would run for one more term as the Ag Commissioner. For those that don't know Hugh, he's a smart, really, really bright guy and has done a great job as Ag Secretary for South Carolina. So I want to give him props. All right. Man, there are tons. I'm missing all the chats. If I'm missing something, y'all need to let me know. All right. Hello, everybody. Good. All right. Other big news. Tons of good announcements in the newspapers this week on jobs and businesses that are expanding. My favorite this week, RV park being built over in Lexington County. Let me tell you why this is, or near Sandy Run. So it may be Calhoun County. But interestingly enough, I didn't know this. If you work at, there are a bunch of folks that work for Amazon that go around to different Amazons when they have needs, and they live in an RV park. And Amazon pays them an extra $125 a week to cover their RV fees. Brilliant. I mean, that's actually, I think as I joke a little bit, but as we think about how to retain talent and to attract talent, unique ways to get people to come and work for you. I would have never guessed that you pay RV fees and you can get a workforce, but you can. So, but a huge, I think it's going to hold 92 RVs. Anyway, good for them. Bentley Pontoons in Lexington County, a great staple of Lexington, expanding in right off of I-20 and Two Notch Road. QT's opened yet another store off of St. Andrews Road. I think up on the hill. That opened up, I think, this week. If you've not tried their grilled cheese, I highly encourage it. Anyway, they did not pay me, but I do have a little affinity for those things. The donut guy, who's been a staple of downtown Soda City for a long time, to open a brick and mortar store over on Lincoln Street. So check him out in the next 2 weeks. And Fly Bar, did y'all catch this? Fly Bar is opening up in Orangeburg County. They are a major pogo stick maker, but they needed access to the port. They needed some space. They got like 185,000 square feet of space. I would assume that is a up and down business. On a roll, people. All right, sorry, that was bad. I have to admit that. All right, let's see. And last but not least, Mother Nature is showing its face. More earthquakes this week, and now sleet and snow coming into the Midlands. All hell is breaking loose. There's not an egg, loaf of bread, or container of milk safe in all of South Carolina. But you need to be prudent and think. The good news is South Carolina has been responsible. They have not bought a ton of equipment to deal with snow, since we have not had any accumulation of snow in 4 years. but when it does happen, it ain't good to be out on the road. So be smart this weekend. I think they're getting somewhere between 85 and I-20 up to maybe a quarter inch of ice, which is not a good combination for us, and power lines and trees. So y'all be careful this weekend and be smart. All right, I'm gonna turn it over. See what's happening with y'all today. I think I hit the highlights, but I'm looking for a victim here that that may need a shout out to find out what's going on with them. All right, Tara Davis looks excited. Good morning.
Good morning, Carl. I was going to call out Adam, like swinging around in the chair. He was the obvious target. But we are rocking and rolling at Apple One. We make connections for clients that are looking to hire and employees looking for work. So we have been rocking and rolling in January. There's a stat out that 73% of employees are struggling to find top talent. I'm not sure if the other 27% are not telling the truth or not hiring, but keep us in mind if you have people looking for great jobs or people that need to hire. We can definitely help out. We've been recruiting around the clock, staying busy, staying healthy, working from home.
Great, thanks. I want to give out to Frank Mundy with Stewart Engineering. Frank's boss, Mr. Stewart, is going to be speaking next week at a Leadership Columbia Alumni Association event. So look forward to hearing from him. He's got a great company and done extremely well, so we're appreciative of that. Elias, like you got a mark on you, a target. How are things going with you today?
All is well, sir.
Good. Business good?
Business is good. Glad I was able to join in to the meeting this morning.
Thanks for doing it. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Who else has got something for the group? Y'all just like me to call on people.
I got you something. I got something for you, Carl.
There we go.
All right. And I know Chuck's online with us. Tom Ledbetter with Midlands Tech. For the past 3 to 4 weeks, you've noticed our signage and everything else out in the public, zero tuition, zero fees for the spring semester at Midlands Technical College. Just a little word on the impact of that as classes started this week. We saw a 30+% increase in the number of first-time student applications to Midlands Technical College.
Cool.
All right, now, and remember, there's a difference between saying you're interested and being committed to actually show up, okay? And that's across both sides of the house. That's what's interesting about this money is this is money that's available for students taking classes for credit, but also students doing continuing education type programs, okay? And it's very seldom does money come up that addresses both of those, but this is one of those. This week, our first week numbers for spring of 22 showed a 6.8% increase year over year over the spring of 2021 in our academic course registrations and everything else that started this week. So classes started this week. So, and I want to make an important note there. That's the first time in probably, I'm going to say, Chuck, 9 years that we've seen an increase year over year in anything. It's been decreasing almost every year since 2012, but we've seen an increase this year, right? The interesting thing is that the corporate or the continuing education allocations and impact on that side of it is not going to be registered probably until February, middle February, early March, because those programs are getting started over the next 3 weeks. And we'll see what kind of surge that has caused in the continuing education areas. So it's very exciting. And like everybody else, our staff ranks are being affected by COVID. And we've got a lot of people out there, a lot of people doing extraordinary levels and hours of work right now to keep up with the demand. So well, thank you, Governor McMaster and state legislature for the money that came down. It looks like it's being put to good use.
Good.
Carl,
Well,
Carl,
just,
one thing I would add to what Tom has said, for those businesses that are part of the Columbia Chamber that are looking for ways to retool its workforce. On the corporate and continuing education side, those programs have different launch dates. So if your company and there's some things that your folks need retooling on, I would encourage you to contact, the folks in our corporate and continuing education department to see, what programs are available for them, launch dates, take advantage of, what will be this unique opportunity.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Tom, I feel you on the application, or at least those that show interest and those that show up. The gym owner I go to complains about that every year. So we know all about that. All right, what else is going on?
Hey there, I'll jump in. I'm Ann Warner, the CEO of Women's Rights and Empowerment Network. We are a nonpartisan nonprofit organization that works to advance gender equality across the state of South Carolina. And I wanted to make y'all aware of a research report that we just put out, written by Joey Von Nessen, looking at the impact of COVID on women's workforce participation. We know that there's been a she-cession, a disproportionate impact of the pandemic on women's employment, but this is the first analysis of how that has been borne out in South Carolina. And the conclusion is that we can't solve our labor shortage issues without a real deliberate focus on getting women back into the workforce. So I'm going to share a link to this page on our website, which has the report, and then we're going to be convening some business leaders in late March to talk about solutions. So this kind of sets, here's where we are and here's the challenge, but we need to get to what are some practical solutions. And we're going to be looking to leaders like y'all to tell us what you are doing to help attract and retain talent, especially from women. So look forward to following up with y'all on the details of the event. But in the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions about the report. I'll drop my email in the chat as well.
Hey, and thanks so much. And I can't wait. I pulled up the report. Truly one of the most, every little piece of the pandemic has impacted people differently. Unbelievably, though, women in the workforce. There was a national article, I don't know what TV show it was that I was watching, actually had it, maybe it's 60 Minutes, but it brings, schools, childcare, unbelievable. So, and again, schools are making the prudent call this week because of the number of staffing issues they have to go virtual for 2 weeks. We're seeing that all over a couple of days, 4 or 5 days from different districts, especially in the healthcare. Unbelievable. So thanks for the comments and appreciate the link to that. I look forward to reading it. All right. Anybody else got anything?
Ron Harvey here. How's everyone doing?
Mr. Harvey, how are you?
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Excited to announce that our company is growing, and I have Ty Westbrook that's on the call with us. So as my face disappears a little bit from some of the things, Ty Westbrook is with us. She's joined our team. So we're happy to have her and welcome her. So good follow behind Ann to talk about hiring women. So we did it here locally. So I'm excited to introduce Ty Westbrook, who's a part of Global Core, which we'll be doing a lot of the work for us. So I'll let her tell you who she is, but I wanted everybody to know who she is, and she's with us. So when she shows up on calls, you guys appreciate it and welcome her and help her be as engaged as we need her to be with the organization. So I'll let Ty tell you who she is.
Hey, Ty.
Good morning. It's great to see everyone. Again, I thank Ron and Global Core for this opportunity to serve. And I am a native of Beaufort, South Carolina, U.S. Army veteran. And I definitely look forward to working with you all here with the Chamber.
Great. We're glad you're here. I wasn't going to call on you because it was your first week on, but your boss did it, so I didn't have to. So anyway. Okay. Great. Well, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
All right.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Janie Davis with the South Carolina Human Affairs Commission, and I'm joining you all for the first time this morning and wanted to just say hello to everyone. I've been listening and I heard the comments about COVID and its impact in the workforce and definitely on women. And of course, we serve as the state's Fair Employment Practice Agency. We have contracts with both the EEOC and HUD. So we definitely see the impact of COVID and how it's impacting all across the state. And I was just going to mention that, with the ruling from the Supreme Court this morning, we're already seeing the impact of people coming in and filing complaints with us, alleging religious discrimination. And some of it is also falling under disability as it relates to people not wanting to be required, I guess, to take the shots or whatever the case might be that their employers might be asking them to do. So we definitely have seen our numbers increase some. So we'll be doing our due diligence to just make sure that we work on behalf of those persons who actually come in and file a complaint, as well as the respondents, in trying to make sure that we are fair in whatever decisions that we make regarding the persons who walk through our doors. So it's very nice seeing and meeting all of you this morning.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Hey, Carl, this is Eli again. I just realized I didn't have a title or description up there. I'm Eli with Defender Firearms and Training. I'm new to the chamber. And so we're your local gun store, and we do a lot of firearms training in the community. Everything from learn to shoot classes to, concealed weapon permits and home defense, business defense classes. So I just wanted to introduce myself to everyone, since I do know some of the personnel on the call just from different circles, but I just wanted to introduce myself to everybody else, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. Great. Hey, thank you, Eli. I appreciate you joining us today. All right. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hey, Carl, Sunday morning is going to be nasty.
Yes.
Stay home and watch TV. CBS
Absolutely.
Sunday morning.
Anything particular you recommend?
Best show on television, CBS Sunday morning.
Softball. Yes, it is going to be a nasty day. All right, Adam Vance, what you got today?
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Carl. We like to call it Finish Strong Friday, and we go Johnny Cash all black on Fridays. And problem with our business is sometimes we start over again Saturday and Sunday. We're a 7-day organization. But anyway, I want to take this time to promote. I was honored to be asked by the chamber. We're taking Carl Blackstone on the road, and Coffee with Carl is coming to Sound and Images on Friday the 28th. And so we're gonna have it all built up nice and special for Carl. Mentioning the RVs, it made me think of maybe we could cut out a deal or something. We could get like a Carl cruiser, going around town in honor of the late John Madden. But anyway, just wanted to mention that we're going to have a live radio remote through Cumulus Radio from 6 to 9. We've done this before at Halls. We did a Beat Clemson, Beat Hunger Week for Harvest Hope. We did not beat Clemson, obviously, but anyway, it was very effective to get people on the air. And so for the last hour or so, from the 8 to 9, we're going to get Carl on there and talk Columbia Chamber, and I hope Leadership Columbia too, which I do want to give a shout out. We had a class this week, Hillary and Meg and Rebecca and everybody, they put on an awesome event. Carl stopped by, Ron Harvey spoke, Ty, I believe you spoke as well. Anyway, just a phenomenal group that I'm so honored to be a part of. But on Friday the 28th, we'll have the radio remote first, and then at 9 o'clock we're going to transition and we're going to do what we call a ZigZ event, which is zero gravity. It's a video production company and sound and images. And I'm going to build a tent in our warehouse through Crisp Event Rentals that I get all my rentals from and sell for. So we're going to make a nice little studio in the warehouse. We're going to roll out the red carpet for Carl in the chamber. I think I'm gonna have some other partners there like Thirsty Mary getting us coffee and anything I can think of, because when Carl Blackstone comes to your business, that is a big time event, and he knows it and he's humble. But anyway, so if everybody in the chamber could join, and you're welcome to come by too as well. We're right here near the State Fairgrounds at 1211 Virginia Street, right off Assembly. But we want everybody to be able to see it and hear it in a TV production style, something that Rich is used to over there, production. And so, and on that note too, Sunday morning, Bad Weather, another great show is, and this is a shameless plug, and I'm the king of shameless plugs, but we provide a lot of live streaming for your local churches here, and have installed all that equipment starting way back before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID. So if anybody likes, is involved in their church, it's always good to live stream on a bad day for driving. So again, thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate everybody's time. I know it's worth a lot, and hope everybody has a great Friday and a great weekend. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Looking forward to being out there with you, but don't roll out a red carpet for me. You know better than that. All right.
I got it.
Listen, we went a little bit over today, but a lot of good stuff on here. Appreciate everybody taking the time to join us on a Friday morning. Do yourself a favor though, on Monday, a lot of folks are closed, but read Letters from Birmingham Jail. It's a great tribute letter, but also one that you get something out of it every time. At least I get something different out of it every time I read it. So do yourself a favor on Martin Luther King Day to read Letters from Birmingham. All right, with that, we're out of here. We'll see you next week. Y'all be careful. Wear your masks. Use sanitizer. Drive in the right lane. See y'all.